Alright, I never do intros, I hate intros, but this is my channel where I talk about UFC, mostly just me yapping, sometimes a little bit of smart analysis as well, but not too much of it, so if you enjoy your time around here, please do subscribe, but most importantly, whatever the heck I'm talking about, leave a comment about it down below so we can have a discussion, thank you. Alright, maybe I'm getting ADHD, stubborn, can't wait for anything kind of brain lately, but I think Ilia Topuria is making us wait for absolutely no reason. I'm not trying to take away from what he has done, what a great champion he is, so on and so forth, yet, if we are being real, it's kinda crazy we don't even know who he is fighting next, when he is fighting next, so I was thinking, let's take a look at his possible future opponents in lightweight, and yeah, up in welterweight too, in case if he is crazy enough to move up again. So in the lightweight, the situation has changed a little now that we know Arman is fighting Dan Hooker, cause Dana is still mad at him for missing weight. I mean, regardless of this being a let us punish you fight by the UFC to Arman, I think he runs through Dan Hooker easily. You can mark my words, don't get me wrong, I respect Dan Hooker as an absolute dog of a fighter, however, he is just not champion or title contender material, like give me a break. Unfortunately, Arman winning this means nothing in terms of him fighting for the title next, cause I think we should just sit down and brace for the most disgusting, most obvious, money grab, attention grab, whatever you wanna call it fight ever. Maybe I should have started this video off strong with that one, so yeah, starting off strong with Paddy the Baddy. Look, I wanna mention the positives for Paddy first, cause oh boy, does he need to have some kind of magic to win against Topuria. And don't shy away, the average or casual or hardcore UFC fan, we are getting this fight. Uncle Dana is going to make it happen, you know it, I know it, so let's talk about it. Look, I admit Paddy looked super good against Michael Chandler, he did much better than I expected him to do. I was already thinking he was winning it easy, but maybe not that easy. We gotta hand it to him, the ground and pound he landed on Mike was vicious and way more dangerous than my expectations, as I said. The knee timing on the takedown entry was also on point, so yeah, it was as flawless as a performance can get, honestly. You may ask, hey man, if you think Paddy was amazing against Mike, why don't you give him any chance against Topuria? Well, my friend, the answer is within the question, you see. Paddy was amazing against who? Against Mike. Can he replicate that level of dominance against Topuria? Of course, hell no. The main problem for Paddy isn't even that. It should be obvious to anyone who has ever watched him fight at least a couple times. Paddy just gets hit a lot, man. And do you really think that's going to fly against a guy like Topuria? It won't, I'm telling you it won't, and you know it won't. That's why I hated the face-off, that's why I hate this matchup, and I'm pretty sure most of you do as well. Enough with the complaining in this video, okay? I don't want to do that for the entire duration of it. So let's circle back to Arman, maybe he wins in such spectacular fashion. Uncle Dana goes like, okay kids, you know what, you got the next title shot. Now we are talking, right? So even in this, it's not like I think Arman would be a favorite or anything like that. The run Topuria is on, oh man, no one is going to be a favorite against them unless they are named Islam Makhachev. But with Arman, it is still a really competitive fight regardless. Let me tell you, Arman has a chin on him, we can debate how useful that is exactly against Ilia, cause you know, the guy put out Max Holloway cold, which is beyond insane. I don't expect Arman to strike with him though, unless he wants to lose so badly or something. When I look at this fight, I think it's fair to say Arman would be Ilia's toughest test to date in terms of grappling. Wait, hardcore Ilia fans, stop right there, I know you are about to tell me all about how Ilia is an amazing jiu-jitsu guy, he has all these submissions and the wrestling background even. You know what, I know and I agree. He has all those things going for him. Hear me out though, that still doesn't necessarily mean he is an amazing defensive grappler too. Haven't we all seen how DDP looked so helpless against a pure grappler like Chimaev? Even though DDP was also out there submitting people, championship level fighters by the way. So yeah, Ilia having a really slick submission game doesn't mean he is going to pull a Paul Craig on Arman when he gets taken down. When you sit back and think about it, yeah, there are lots of unknowns about this fight. How will Ilia's wrestling hold up? Can Arman survive a long enough time to even attempt taking down Ilia? At the end of the day, I feel like it would be a banger for sure either way. But let me tell you about a fight I don't love, which has way more likelihood of happening. I would say it's probably the UFC's second choice right after Paddy. Oh my man, Justin, ever since he beat Fiziev again, he's waiting, he's sitting out. saying he deserves nothing but the title shot, you know? I don't even think we should go in depth as to why he doesn't deserve it. Let me give you a hint, it basically boils down to the fact that he got put out cold by the guy who got put out cold by the current champion, if that makes any sense. Everything I hate about the Paddy matchup, we have it here. I don't see Justin being better or competitive at anything a younger Topuria wants to do. Not only that, he's lacking even more in the grappling department. I love him, but this ain't it, man. Please, for the love of God, Dana, don't do this to us. I don't know, man, why can't we have nice things in this world? Why is a young champion like Ilia Topuria is being so inactive? Especially after not taking any damage whatsoever in his last fight. It just sucks. I hope even if the UFC is so set on having Paddy fight for the title next, it somehow ends up becoming a fun fight, I guess. And after Topuria wins, we don't have to wait for him to fight again for like an entire year. Let me know what you think. Do you think any of these lightweight guys can get it done against Ilia Topuria? Or is the real challenge for him is going to be moving up to fight Makhachev? Once again, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Cheers!